Hey everybody, Coach Mike here, and I'm here with the one and only, the man, the myth, the legend, Coach Barry Stokes.
The adult onset swimmer.
and adult onset swimmer. So the reason we're here and the reason I have Coach Barry here is to talk about what some conversations we've had with our athletes over the last couple of weeks. We had a race here locally called Try Louisville a couple Sundays ago, and some of the conversations we've had with folks revolved around the swim, and then specifically revolved around people kind of running into this scenario where they panic, run into some anxiety at the swim start, and basically kind of over revving the engine, and ultimately 100 to 200 to 300 meters into the swim, you wind up in a scenario where you're on your back, you're trying to regain your composure, and potentially even blown your entire race because you run yourself right into a state of panic right at the start of the race. So we've been discussing with our athletes how to warm up, how to anticipate that portion of the race, and how to develop a routine so that that doesn't happen next time. So Barry, I want you to just tell us, maybe specifically what that feels like, and maybe some of the folks watching will kind of resonate a little bit, but tell us about a time where that happened to you, where you actually you started off too quickly. What happened? What did it feel like? And then tell us what you've developed as a means to overcome that.
So you're talking about the time I ended up hanging on the rope on the wall in Chicago's triathlon, and I was looking up, asking my wife how I could get out of there.
Yes.
Those kind of times.
Yes.
Or the time in Florida when I was on my back about 350 yards offshore and the waves were washing over my head, and I couldn't breathe. Those kind of times.
Yes.
Yeah, it's horrible. It's just a horrible feeling.
Sure.
You go anaerobic, you can't breathe, you get on your back, and then you panic because people are swimming away from you and they're swimming around you, and the race is going on, and it's so stressful, and it can absolutely, that adrenaline bolus that goes through your body from the panic of it all,
right,
can ruin your day. It can absolutely ruin your day. So what I've kind of developed over time with asthma and with the adult onset issues of swimming that I have, I've learned to go through the same routine for warm up every time I get in the water. It doesn't matter if I'm at Paramount in open water, or if I'm at Mary T in a 50-meter lane, or I'm at Mary T in a 25-meter lane. I do the same thing every time. And it takes me about 400 meters to get completely warmed up and ready to get on with the swim workout, or on race day, get on with the race.
Okay.
And so my warm-up routine is I've learned that I can swim about 100 meters, breathing every third stroke. 3 strokes right, breathe, 3 strokes left, breathe. I can swim about 100 with that pattern. And then I go to alternate side breathing, but I'm breathing 2 times to my right, and then the 3rd time to my right, I roll and breathe to my left there for the 3rd stroke.
Okay.
And then I breathe twice to my left, take 3 strokes, breathe to my right. I can swim about 200 like that.
Okay.
And then I go 6 strokes right, 6 strokes left, breathing every time, and I roll through that. I can swim about 100 to 150 like that. But by the time I'm there, I'm 400-ish yards or meters into my swim, and I've warmed up.
Okay.
So I know how much distance I've covered. I know that my heart rate's gone up, it's come down. I haven't gone anaerobic. I've relaxed in the water. My stroke, for what it is, has gotten into rhythm. My shoulders are warmed up. And what I've learned in race is that the people that I was trying to keep up with early in the race that would put me into an anaerobic condition, I began to pass those people back.
Right.
Later in the race. They're either on their back at 400 to 600 yards into the swim, or they're slowing down because they've gone out too fast and they're trying to catch up themselves. I began to pass people back, so it's amazing the number of positions that I'm able to recapture.
Sure.
In the last 200
simply
of the sprint.
because you've calmed yourself down at the start, not blown up.
Right.
And those that did blow up, you're now catching up to them.
Right.
Okay.
And I'm passing them. And then that same with an Ironman. I mean, the Ironman races I did, it was the same thing. It would take me 400 yards to get into my rhythm. And it's just, you're like swimming in a washing machine out there anyhow with all those arms and legs kicking and everybody's hair's on fire in the water and you're trying to go. But then you just start picking people up. You just pick them off one at a time. And honestly, the last 10 years, once I learned to develop that breathing pattern and warm-up pattern, the last 10 years, I had really good swims. I got out and I felt good when I got out of the water, and I had a really good bike, and my run.
But sure, right.
It's worked for me, that type of warm-up. Okay. So, go ahead.
So what we're trying to say here is you need to develop a routine, that works for you. Now here in our squad sessions, you can see I've got a workout written up here on the board behind me, that includes a warm up, and in a nice calm pool setting, I might have some instruction for you if you're a squad swimmer, on what to do in that warm up. But as you may have experienced, taking that to the open water, sometimes all that stuff goes out the window. And what Barry is saying is, despite what maybe recommendations I even have, you've figured out something that works specifically for you.
Yeah.
It's 100 meters of a certain breathing pattern. It's the next 100 meters of a different breathing pattern. And then the third 100 meters different again. And you've repeated that over and over, and that becomes your warm-up every time you jump in the pool, and then that's carried over to the open water, correct?
Right. And it's kept me from going anaerobic. I mean, people, one of the problems new swimmers, new triathletes have, I think, is they go into the swim with a plan.
Sure.
And then the horn sounds and the race starts, and the plan goes right out the window.
Yeah.
It's gone. And they're swimming, and then they're anaerobic, and then they don't know what to do except get on their back. And that compounds the whole problem.
Yeah, so would you say even just like having practiced that, I mean, you've basically created for yourself a routine, a habit that, I mean, even in that same scenario, when the horn sounds, do you just default to that?
That's my go-to. I do it every time. And my warm-up may not work for you.
Sure.
But I think it's up to the individual athlete to develop their own warm-up. And the only way they can do that is to experiment.
Right.
Try to find out what's going to work best for them, and then practice it over and over and over. It's rehearsal.
Yeah.
Of the same thing every time. So that regardless of the water conditions, the wind conditions, and the number of people in your wave, you do the same thing every time.
Right. Yeah. Cool. Well, I hope, our hope was that helps you a little bit here in developing a routine and figuring out how to overcome, if you've ever encountered that feeling of anxiety and going anaerobic right there at the start of your swim or at the start of a race. It really does come down to, you have to figure out what works for you, and you have to experiment. You can't just leave it up to chance and hope that come race day, things are gonna, fall in place. You have to be very intentional, and that goes down to every time you start a swim, even if it's here at the pool, every time you start a swim practice, that you're practicing, even if it's just up here in your mind, you're going through the same routine. Your mind will develop that routine, that habit, and it will carry over to come race day, because it'll just be what you do. Okay, so figure out what works for you. If you need any help or any assistance, developing that routine, you can reach both of us. You can go to the Barry's Coaching website at barryscoaching.com. You can email Barry at barryscoaching.com, or Mike at barryscoaching.com, or me for our swim program, Mike at trymasterswimming.com. Visit those sites. We've got lots and lots of content, information, swimming related, triathlon related, to help you out. And we hope to see you here at the pool or just out on the trails. Yeah. So
come join us.
Thanks, Coach Barry.
Peace.
Thanks, everybody. See you later.
Yeah.